Cebu, good evening Philippines. It's open mic night tonight, and this is our first episode after the election. Congratulations to President Duterte. The last time we were here, I was in a not so good mood, but it was cathartic to say the least. But now I'm in the mood because I have a very good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, one of the most loyal and beautiful and intelligent and accomplished of my friends, most thoughtful. And she is now the incoming mayor of Liloan, Cebu, Attorney Christina Garcia Frasco. Chris?
Hi, Mike. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. And of course, outgoing Mayor Duke Frasco, your better half, is here with us.
Yes, in full support.
Of course, like you were supportive of him when he was here. The most beautiful couple in Cebu. Makalagot.
Love you.
So congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
How has it been the past few days, since being elected Mayor?
Well, we're very happy with the turnout of the results. I won by a margin of more than 10,000 votes. And our entire team, we're really very glad that the people of Liloan have clearly spoken and they've given their full support to Team Frasco. In the past few days, I've tried as much as I can to really catch up on quality time with my children.
And you deserve it. I have been witness to how grueling the past 5 months, the past 3 years have been for you. Yeah. So it's nice that it's behind you. No?
Yes, I'm very excited to begin doing justice to the mandate that has been given to me by the people of Liloan.
And it has been a very, this is the result of, several difficult choices on your part.
Yes.
I know that. Is it worth it? Is it worth, now that it's there, you are Mayor of Liloan, it's a battle that you fought hard to win, aside from the many other battles that you were forced to fight. Is everything worth it? What you had to give up?
Well, first, I'm very glad and happy that I've been given this opportunity to serve the people of Liloan and to be told by them through the elections that I deserve to be their leader. That makes it worth it for me because not a lot of people are given the opportunity to serve such a beautiful place and such warm people. So, malipayon kayo ko na natagaan gyud ko ana na higayon. Honestly, leading into the elections, I didn't pray for victory. Rather, I prayed for the courage to accept whatever God's plan and purpose was for me. I knew that I would give it my all. I would do my best and really try to show the people of Liloan my willingness to serve. But ultimately, I was prepared to accept His will, whatever that may be. And I'm happy that I'm in this path now because it affirms to me that perhaps the choices I've made are really in the right direction.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's become easier for you to let go and let God, especially from your mom's suspension, and you were on top of things, and then now they were trying to harass Duke.
Yes.
While you were campaigning. And
yes.
then, well, I hate to mention it, but and then you lost your Lola, who's very important to you.
Yes.
And through it all, I've seen how you've managed to take everything with grace.
Thank you.
And humility to just leave. I mean, lesser mortal would have cracked and given up. So in this very slim frame, just like your mother, is an iron lady. Have you talked to your mom after? Of course you have, no, but
Yes, she was one of the first people to call me when the definitive margin was already in. And of course, I thanked her for her guidance through these many months. She's always been a great inspiration to me. And what I've learned from the whole experience in the past 3 years is that we can never be arrogant enough to dictate what will happen to us. We can only accept things as they come and do our best really to cope and to survive and to thrive. And that's really what I've tried to do in the past 3 years. I just feel very blessed that I've had a very strong foundation in my family.
Yeah. The example of your grandfather, a legal luminary, your Lola, the judge, and what she's done for the poor, for the less fortunate through her co-op, is just amazing. And then you have your mom and what she's done for Cebu, in elevating the bar, the standard for leadership. But so is this like a stepping stone? Do you actually see it as a stepping stone for a long career in public service, like your mom and your grandparents before you?
Well, I see it as an opportunity to serve, and I recognize that the privilege is not given to you. You have to earn it, and I tried to do that through the elections. Now that I've been given this privilege, I intend to, of course, do my best at it and really to deserve this mandate that's been given to me. I never had any plans of entering politics, especially with my focus on my career. But circumstances were designed in a way that eventually led me to this direction, no matter how hard I tried to stay away from politics.
Everything is a matter of destiny. But I'd like to opine, because there is always this debate on political dynasties and whatnot, and of course the anti-political dynasty bill, and well, to an extent I support it. But I just like to say that well, if I look at you, everyone, friends, I've seen how this lady had to work. You said you worked hard for it. She really worked hard for it. And sometimes there is an impression that just because you are from a political dynasty, from a powerful family like the Garcias, that that is handed to you on a silver platter. Certainly not. I dare you trade places there. I can't even. I mean, I think highly of myself.
And rightly so.
but I wouldn't wish, upon myself what Christina has been through. Not just the last few months of the campaign, but really the last 3 years. Hardworking, and I think people trust you. I don't know that they know everything. The battles you wage on a daily basis, but. I'm a big fan and believer, disciple of excellence, and you are a paragon of excellence. In everything that you do, in everything
means
that you
a lot coming from you.
in everything, even her handwriting is perfect. Her penmanship. And she's I said earlier when I was introducing her, she's one of the most thoughtful people I know. She just sends little things, even on an unbirthday, when there's no occasion, just so she just so you know that she's thinking of you. And then one time she sent me a gift, those little trinkets, and I was supporting Senator Po, and their family is really not an ally, but how thoughtful to have given me that hope, or that was alluding to Senator Po. But the letter, you made a mistake on the date. The year 2016, after voting, and then it said, "Oh, perfect penmanship," but wrong date. She's not perfect. Yes, she's not perfect. And I showed it to Joanna Cuenco. Look, Christina's not perfect. She made a small mistake. But really, you know, how you conduct yourself, how you write, how you speak, you know, your ventures. You were in what do you call this? You were managing a law firm here in Cebu. You helped set it up. You have a business with Duke, you know, and you're an image model once in a while. What is it that you can't do? Really?
I can't be Mike Lopez.
Wow, this is mutual admiration club. People are gonna turn off the TV. But you can't be because I'm not a paragon of excellence, and you always have to be a paragon of excellence. So really, what is it that you can't do, Chris?
No, Mike. First, my philosophy is hard work, and I think that I learned from my grandparents. We were raised to believe that you're not entitled to anything that you don't work for. And that has really been my philosophy in life, that if I want to accomplish something, I need to work at it, whether it be in business or in my career, in teaching, or even with my family life. It's a daily work in progress for me, and I try to give my all to each venture that I go into, because that's simply what I believe in. That I don't like to leave things half-baked, and I strive for excellence in everything that I do. I don't always achieve it, but at least I take comfort in knowing that I tried. Yeah.
You mentioned your teaching, and then I hear a lot of good feedback from your students. You're their favorite teacher.
Really?
Because they say you really teach. You don't just show up and give an exam. You really make an effort, to explain so that your students learn the law, and they love you.
I'm happy to hear that. It's really a passion for me. I've been teaching for the past 8 years, and even in this last semester, when I knew that my schedule was really going to be very busy going into the campaign, I accepted the invitation to teach again in USC College of Law, because I knew that, God willing, if I succeeded in my quest to be mayor, that I would have to bid goodbye to that passion of mine.
Pang last. Were you the teacher of Athena?
Yes.
Congratulations
yes,
to Athena.
But I was only one among many professors and just excellent educators in USC Law, including the Dean, Joanne Largo, who has really led the law school to the prime standing that it now occupies.
We're in the top 5 in the country, right? I say we, but because I'm in USC Law. But we have to pause for the short break. Open mic, we'll be right back with Mayor Christina Garcia Frasco. Back here in open mic, Chris. So, how do you feel? Because a lot of people always mistake you for your mom. I remember one time when we were, of course, my Facebook has been like a campaign platform for Duterte, and I think when Sarah was in Liloan,
yes.
and then I posted the video. I posted something, and then when my friend's mom commented, she's from Canada, and she says, "Oh, I'm very happy that Governor Gwen was also there in Liloan." And I go, "No, I think that was her daughter." And it's just, no, I saw her in the video. So I really took the time out to watch.
Yeah.
This is Tita Nelia Angel.
Yeah,
I really took the time out to watch the video from beginning to end, and I didn't see any Gwen Garcia there. and then I said, no, that was her daughter, Christina. Siya, okay, okay. And your mom, of course, was very happy because
Yes.
I think it's whoever is compared to whom, diba? Parang is a compliment, right?
Absolutely.
But how do you feel when you're mistaken? You're always mistaken for your mom, right?
I am. A
Especially
lot of
this-
times, yeah. Well, it's a source of pride for me, of course. Because, idol ba kay nako gid si mommy and guwapa sa kay siya.
Yes.
Diba? So it's nice to be mistaken for Gwen Garcia. And more importantly,
Or as a blog would spelled Gwen
Gwen.
Gwen Garcia. Gwendolyn.
I saw that.
Or as your sister would say, so pinabalik, Nweg.
Nweg.
Hi, Chris. So yeah. But what are, aside from your physical attributes, what are your other similarities and what sets you apart, from your mom?
See, mommy, during her time as governor, even until now, she really prefers to be with the people, to go out into the field,
We saw
go
that,
out to the towns, and
It
have a
energized her.
personal connection sa katauhan. And I have realized in the past many months that I've traversed Liloan's 14 barangays that I really enjoy being out and being with the people and talking to them, listening to them, looking at their situation.
So you get your mom more now.
Yes. I understand now why in those 9 years she had to be away and really be out most of the time. Second, she's a very hard worker. Many people say she's a workaholic, and those attributes of hard work, which I'm sure she also learned from my lola and lola, are very much alive in her. And I see myself in her in many ways for that reason. Third, growing up, she always instilled in us the value of excellence. And that's what I have strived for all my life, really. To make her proud, to make my family proud. And I'm very glad to have had a model in her in my life and now in public service.
And then what sets you apart?
Well,
She was known for her temper, When she wants to get things done, she makes it clear that she means business, no? And that's why she and Mayor Duterte get along, because they have the same temper and temperament, no? When it comes
Yes.
to leadership and management. Are you the same?
I would say no, because I like to proceed in a manner that is more, I think, calm. And
We can see that.
diplomatic as well. Of course, I understand the many challenges that my mom faced being governor of the province of such a huge population, and it was necessary for her to be firm. And I think that when the situation arises, I will need to be firm as well, and I'm prepared to do that. But I'm also happy that I'm able to strike a balance between firmness and gentleness, and I think also Duke has influenced me a lot in that aspect because he is very gentle with everyone around him, and he is always so calm. To have that influence in your life has also been very positive for me.
So you found your Zen in Duke.
You can say that.
I hope I can also find my Zen.
I think you have.
Uy.
That's fun.
Okay. Anyway,
You're blushing.
the diva lights. They're reflecting on my ring. But now I'm lost. But what do you, aside from Duke, as your Zen place, how do you relax? I mean, Oh my gosh, what you have to go through every day, your schedule, being a lawyer, a teacher, a candidate, a wife, a mother, and still have time to to send thoughtful things to people. Your mother's daughter, your mother's lawyer, and so many things. I mean, how do you keep it together? I mean, how do you relax aside from Duke being there, no?
Yes.
And aside from your children, of course, I can see that they are a source of immeasurable joy for you. But how else do you find peace and calm in the flurry of things?
Well, honestly, there's not a lot of time to relax. But when I do find those moments of tranquility, I just try to really remind myself of what is most important in this life. We all have goals, but I try to focus on my foundation, which is my family. And whenever I am conflicted or disturbed or perturbed, and when I reach a difficult point in my life where I feel that I can no longer surmount the difficulties, I always turn to my family. And they always provide me with the compass that I need to, calm myself down and to move forward. Para nako, no, I've had to fight many battles. So I've also learned to pick my battles. That's why sa mga gagmay kayo na mga butang, para nako, it's not necessary to lose your cool or lose your temper about those things. I've learned to value what is more essential and what I need to prioritize also.
I notice your mom and your sister Carissa, they are very poetic, they are romantics, and you also have that. So you, I think, have this left-right brain thing going on, no? You write poetry.
Yes, I like to write poetry. And lately, being on the campaign trail, I can say na murag ni hanas-hanas na gyud ang akong sinugbuanon. So, ganahan sa kay kong suwat og balak. No,
may
I
balak
try.
ka. May suwat og balak.
Wana.
May balak. Sa Tagalog may balak.
Unya,
And then?
kuan, I like to sketch when I have time.
Your mom also, right?
Yes,
she's
yes.
very talented when it comes to that. And then?
Yes. I love to cook as well for Duke and for the kids. Duke is such a good customer in my restaurant. Kaya di yun siya mo complain. Bisa pa og wala may akong giluto.
What's your favorite dish?
Everything.
See,
Come on!
I told you.
No wonder she's so calm.
Every kind.
Ay, nako, Duke. Duke, konti ka ron. Mo, Dave. That's why you're so calm. So handsome, and he likes everything you do.
Now, I wanted to say also, Mike, because you mentioned the many things that I'm involved in. Para sad nako, di gud ni nako mabuhat without our team. And I'm able to do the many things that I do because of the help of a lot of good and dedicated and loyal people surrounding me and Duke. So
Yeah, I see that also on Facebook, how they're so passionate, You have your own Dutertards there. But, so, what is your vision for Liloan? Where do you see it, example, when, and 3 years from now, in 2019, either you run for re-election or whatever, but in 3 years, after your first term, how will Liloan have changed under Christina?
well, first, we're very happy that the people agreed with us on our message of continuity and unity, because that's really the longing that we heard from the people on the ground, na ganahan gid nila na mapadayon ang kalambuan na nasugdan na ni Duke. So we aim to continue the programs that Duke has started, especially on the aspects of education and healthcare. And
all those scholars, no?
yes, and my vision with Duke for Liloan is really for Liloan to be a premier city in Cebu that is an ideal place to live, to study, and to work.
Is Liloan part of Metro Cebu?
Yes, it is.
Already?
Already,
Okay.
yes. And we only have several aspects to comply with na lang para mahimo naming syudad. Hapit na.
Wow.
So we're very excited about that.
And that's gonna happen under your leadership?
Well, we're very hopeful that we will be able to comply with the requirements for cityhood in a number of years.
Liloan. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned continuity because a lot of analysts have pointed out that the reason Mar Rojas's campaign, ended in, well, I'm trying to be diplomatic because I have a diplomat here. Yeah, ended the way it ended is because of his message of continuity. Because that's the Daang Matuwid message, patuloy ang Daang Matuwid, it really does not resonate with people. So it goes to show that Mayor Duke, did a terrific job as mayor, three-term mayor of Liloan, that they want more of it, no? And that they want to continue that brand of leadership that he is known for. So it's interesting the paradox, no? I mean, that continuity on a national level was almost unanimously or generally rejected by the people, but in the local level, like in the case of Liloan, it is a message that stuck. Continuity is a message that stuck and resonated.
Well, I think it's also because the benefits that have arisen from his governance of 9 years in Liloan are felt by the people. And the loss of those benefits would be felt by them as well. And so that is why I think they gave us a resounding victory, because they want those benefits to continue, such as, for example, the scholarship program that has helped over 6,000 students in the past 7 or 8 years.
So which was not something that was just for election.
Yes, yes.
That's something that we need to emphasize, because there are a lot of programs in government, even by the national government, that they just do it right before election. So
Yes. Well, I think there's a big misconception also about all politicians, that we are all just there for politics. What's been lost in the conversation is public service. And Liloan has seen the brand of politics that is focused on public service. And notwithstanding the divisive campaign that, rather divisive electoral process that we just went through, where we were bombarded with so many political machinations,
black propaganda.
cases, black propaganda, etc. We just really kept our focus on our message, and that is that we are more interested in public service than we are in politicking. And that is the thrust, that will be the thrust of our administration.
Okay. We have to pause for another break. We'll talk about black propaganda and politicking when Open Mic returns. We're back here in Open Mic. So Chris, the Duranos are, the kingpins of the 5th district where Liloan is, no? And but how did their party fare in Liloan in the elections?
No one from their party won in Liloan.
No one.
Yes.
Not a single councillor.
And
And then your uncle Winston was running for governor, and his vice governor Nerissa Sun Luis also won in Liloan.
yes, Tito Winston won by nearly 10,000 votes
That's a
in
lot.
Liloan, and Nerissa Sun Luis also won in Liloan.
So that shows how much trust the Liloanons have toward you guys. No?
Towards the candidates as well,
Yeah.
yes. We really tried to present to Liloanons our platforms and the value of continuity, and we're very happy that they understood and agreed with our message.
Speaking of the Duranos, I know that you are not politically allied, the Garcias and the Duranos, but a lot of people do not know that you are actually related. right?
Through my grandmother, yes.
Because your grandmother, who is Tan
Yes.
Fiel,
Yes.
Judge Esperanza Tan Fiel, before she became a Garcia,
Yes.
her father and the
Manoamon.
the biological father of the patriarch were,
I think we're brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah, if I'm
But
not
that-
mistaken.
but that Ramon Durano was illegitimate. So he carried his mother's name, which is Durano. That's what I know. Something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Which means that Ramon Durano and your grandmother are first cousins, and the generation in power and your mother are second cousins, and that's very close.
Maybe not second cousins, maybe third. I really
Hangyo?
haven't.
Hangyo?
I mean, I really haven't taken the time to trace how closely related we are, especially with the situation.
But based on my mental template, yes, your mom and her generation would be second cousins.
Yes,
But
we call each other Gao.
See, but a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. And in Cebu, like they say, all politics is local and all politics is personal. And then, but you know what? Interestingly, and I hate to bring this up, Magpale, who was not very loyal to your mom in 2013, she's actually more related to your mom in that case, or as related to your mom as she is to the Duterte. I mean, actually more related, more closely by affinity than to the Dutertes. I think it's a very common misconception when they say that the Dutertes, and I am a Duterte by blood, so I can, I say this with authority, that the Almendrases, meaning Magpale by extension, because she is an Almendras, are related to the Dutertes. They are related by affinity, but only to one branch.
Okay.
Because one Duterte branch, Beatriz, who is the matriarch of the Durano family, Beatriz Duterte married Ramon Durano, and Durano is related to the Almendrases, that father's side. So they are not related to the Dutertes. They are related to some of the Dutertes in that Duterte Durano family.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes. Just to set the record straight. Anyway, so talking about family tree, your family in Ormoc is also into politics.
Yes.
How did your father's side fare in the last election?
Well, as I'm aware,
Excuse me.
unfortunately, my father's brother, Mayor Ondo, lost the mayoral race.
Against Richard Gomez.
Yes, and they also didn't make it to the congressional race as well. Yeah.
Running against Lucy.
Yes.
But in fairness to Richard, how he speaks Cebuano now, quite fluent.
You can say that
Yes, I can say.
in a manner of speaking, I suppose.
See, she's diplomatic. So, okay, before the break, we said let's talk about black propaganda and politicking.
Yes.
It appears that on a national level, and maybe as with Liloan, black propaganda doesn't seem to work anymore. The president tried very hard to campaign. No, I mean that's the first time I'm actually seeing a sitting president campaign against a candidate.
Yes.
I've never seen that ever. President Arroyo never did that. To Noynoy, who at that time was leading in the surveys, and he was campaigning on a platform of jail Gloria.
Yes.
But she left. She left everyone. She left elections alone, and Ramos didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it seems to have backfired, and and in the local, it's the same.
What we found is that I think people are intelligent enough to distinguish between truth and fiction,
That's right.
and made-up issues and actualities. And they have also, I think, learned to appreciate the qualities of the candidate that they choose, notwithstanding all the mud thrown.
Yeah.
And that's a personal thing for me, even in Liloan, because the issues thrown against me by my opponent were
Very
quite
personal.
personal. But I just opted to still run a very positive campaign. Duke and I just focused on our platforms and answered the issues that required answering. But we didn't pay any attention to the other personal non-truths that they threw at us.
Were you afraid that at some point, at any point during the campaign, that the black propaganda might actually work?
Well, of course, there's always that fear as a candidate that the people would believe what my opponent was saying against me. So I considered it a challenge to prove those issues wrong and also to overcome it. And one of the things that my lola actually told me before she passed was, show the people who you are, show them your heart, because I think that if they see that, then you will be able to convince them of your sincerity. So notwithstanding all the words thrown at me, I really just tried my best to present myself and offer myself to the people and show them my sincerity and my desire to serve them.
How much did social media, how much of a role did social media play in a local campaign like yours? Because I ask because I noticed that you speak of black propaganda and biased or slanted news from mainstream media, from the big oligarch controlled media organizations. And though the downside to social media is there's a lot of misinformation being spread, and you have all these spoofs and parodies and satires that are spread like gospel truth, and you have all these fake memes, etc., and people just spreading them. But the upside to it is it seems like it has empowered people, and it has given them an alternative media where they get their news, and where other people, the common tao's opinion and insight, especially those that have a lot of sense, are given the time of day and are broadcast for free, and other people get to read and digest and also pass it along, these information along. So and it, I think, is really a game changer for 2016, unlike 2010, because Facebook was not the same platform as it is now, the shares and the replies and everything, this concept of viral. So I think that really helped Duterte a lot, especially with how the coverage was for him in the mainstream media, but everyone just didn't believe it in social media. I mean, they wouldn't have it. How important was social media in Liloan?
Well, the mere fact that everyone is on Facebook now told us that social media will play a part in this campaign. And that is why we tried to be as active as we could be on social media to tell the people what we were doing, what our projects were, and what our programs and plans were. And that has allowed us, to a certain extent, to reach out to a lot of people. But at the same time, we still made sure to do the groundwork. Do the house-to-house campaign, do the purok visits. We have 228 puroks in Liloan, and really, have that personal connection with the people, because you can only do so much in social media.
But it's different, no? It's a lot different from, let's say, 2013 or 2010, the last two elections where Duke ran, the role social media played. But I don't know, but did it really work for, because your uncle, we don't know what's happening, because it's still being canvassed, the votes of Cebu. And he has been very active on social media. He has a very good message of a vision, an actual vision. It's so refreshing to see an actual vision after 3 years of being blind. So, what do you think happened there? What's your take?
Well, I think I would...
Being a stalwart of One Cebu.
Yes. First of all, I fully respect the will of the Cebuanos, and I am very thankful for over 500,000 people who voted for Tito Winston.
That's a lot.
That tells you a lot. That the fact that there is apparently now only 15,000 votes that separates him from the sitting governor speaks volumes of the many Cebuanos who are also yearning for change.
And to think your Tito Winston has not been in the politics of the province for more than a decade. No?
Yes, that's true. But at the end of the day, our family, we recognize that this is a democratic process. So, notwithstanding all the efforts put in, you have to respect how people assess your programs and plans and whether they are willing to go with you in your plan to take Cebu to a certain direction.
For the next 3 years.
Yes,
But did you hear? Because there's a lot of people saying that if, and I think your uncle, he has said it very clearly, and I actually, if I could support him, if I could vote in the province, I would have voted for him, but I can't. But a lot of people actually say that if it was your mom who ran, maybe she would have really won against David. Was that discussed in your family meetings?
No.
No.
Because it's really for the people to say. They're the ones who will ultimately decide. And what this campaign has shown is, I think what Tito Winston has done is simply to exert as much effort as he could to present a clear plan and vision for Cebu. And at the end of the day, it's up to the Cebuanos whether or not they want that. Mom is already in the 3rd district, and we're very thankful that she won for her 2nd term.
Yeah.
And that is her concentration now. But as a family, speaking for the Garcias, we, like you and many Cebuanos, have a great love for Cebu. And beyond politics, beyond elections, that will always be paramount for us. And if this time around it was not the will of the people for Tito Winston to be governor, we respect that once the results are final. But in no way would that diminish our love for Cebu. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Before we end, can you name your leadership model? Someone who's not from your family. Your leadership model, and then your party message to, well, Liloan, the people of Liloan, and the people of Cebu.
I would say Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, we're the same.
Yes, because he encountered so many hardships in his life, from the day he was born to his life early on in politics, to his family life. His wife and child died on the same day, and the many other upheavals that he encountered. I would say that he would be my model that I look to, because he tells me, his life tells me that no matter the ups and downs that you encounter, as long as you keep forging forward and you keep working as he did, then you will prevail. And that has really been what it's been about for me for the past 3 years. I myself and our family has encountered many challenges, but I've just focused on working, surviving every day until I have reached this point in my life. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity, and I fully intend to do justice to the mandate that has been given to me by the Liloanons. Ug alang sa akong mga kaigsuonang Liloanon, mapasalamaton kaayo ko sa higayon na inyong gihatag kanako na mahimong inyong mayor. Ug naghandom ko sama ninyo na ang kalambuan na ato nang natagamtam sa Liloan, ato gyud kining mapadayon ug ato pang punan. And Duke and I are really very excited for the great things that await Liloan in the near future.
You talked about battles. I think it was Teddy Roosevelt. I hope I quote him correctly, lest I become like Mar quoting Batman mistakenly. But it was Roosevelt who said something along the lines of, between righteousness and peace, I choose righteousness. So, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Mike.
Congratulations for fighting the good fight and for winning the good fight.
Thank you. Thank God.
This has been another episode of Open Mic. We had attorney Christina Garcia Frasco, the incoming mayor of Liloan. Until next week, good night and God bless.